Welcome. Hi, everyone. It's great to see you. It's great to be here. Welcome to ELIAN'S Joy, today's show. I am super excited to be here with you and to do this show today. ELIAN'S Joy, I'm going to bring you some joy. And grateful, of course, to be on Win-Win Women with amazing women around me. So excited to do this every week and share with you some fun, some stories, some things that I have experienced, some things that I teach, some things that I preach. I love to share that with you. My name is Elian, Elian's Joy, bringing you joy and energy, right? About myself, well, Elian Han. I have been in the States for a long time, but originally I'm from the Netherlands. I have been in fitness and movement all my life and have a dance background. Started teaching, started talking about fitness, started getting on to international conventions, talking about movement, and started working in a rehab facility with people that are suffering from addiction and that are in recovery full time. And so that way, over the last couple of years, I brought some life coaching in. I became a certified life coach, and bringing mind, body, spirit together became my life. So in this show, Elian's Joy, I would like to talk every week about of every month about the body, like we did last month. We talked about the body, everything about the body and movement, and fit and feeling good, and feeling healthy. This month we talk about spirit, and the month before or next month we talk about the mind. So a lot of fun here, sharing this all with you. And now let's start thinking about spirit today. Spirit is really, mind, body, spirit is really something that came up the last decade, right? Or maybe the last 2 decades. People started talking more and more about what does it mean and what is the connection of mind, body, spirit, and why are we in that connection? So we have found out that our brain is immediately, if we are stressed out or if we are feeling really down, or if we're feeling a lot of anxiety, that immediately settles and manifests in the body. And that's what I always talk about. So we have to kind of find that and feel it, face it and heal it, right? We have to feel that what we can do with our minds settles in the body. And so if we can heal our mind sometimes, or if we can heal our body, that is in connection with each other. And our spirit has a lot to do with it. Our spirit is really all about how we are connected with the universe, how we are connected with each other, how we are connected with love, and how we need to feel that we can belong. So there's so many words, if you're thinking about spirit, that are attached to spirit. It is the words like essence, the words like life, the breath of life, the essence of life, your vitality. The breath of the body sometimes is used as or translated as your spirit, the breath of your body, the mood, your mood, right? Are you in a good spirit today? They would say, and they refer to your mood. And gesture and humor, I mean, she is a spirited person, right? Is somebody who has a lot of laughter or brings a lot of joy. It has to do sometimes with she is spirited about it. She is determined about it, the courage of life, and sometimes about energy and how you are projecting your inner self. And that has all, those are all kind of words that you can find when you're talking about spirit. Are you a spirited person? Are you a spirited mind? Are you in touch and really feeling spiritual? Are you feeling your spirit? And that is something really, really big, right? Because if you are spirited, then you feel a little bit more joyful. And I'm going to explain how I became to that sentence, right? How I came to that feeling. I was not raised in church, but I was told I was a spirited child. And I was not really raised in church in a sense of every Sunday or into a religion or into a sense of belonging to one church branch, a religious organization. But I always had a feeling that I had to find out where I belonged. So when I was young, I just started going to church with others, with my friends. And when I was a teenager, I went with my friends to different churches. And I just loved the feeling of being in a building or feeling that I belonged to a greater, higher thing, right? That I was really having some strength and some love and some really big thing around me. And I think a lot of spirit that we feel has to do with that. Are you feeling loved? And do you feel that you belong to that spiritual, to that outer there, right? So it does not always have to be a nomination. It does not always have to be a building. It can be any religion. It can be anything that you feel uplifted by and you feel that it makes you joyful, right? Your takeaway of today, what is the takeaway of the day? Your takeaway of today is that I'm going to give you some tips how to really get there. And a lot of that has to do, of course, with just me kind of giving you things that you already know, but thinking deeper about it or thinking more about it, things that we already know that's play in the mind, body, spirit. Everybody knows now about all that stuff having a great connection. We talk about a lot. Couple months ago, I talked about how to reset your mind. And there are so many training and so many techniques and so many mindfulness things and so many awareness things that you can do for yourself to train your mind. But what I really want to do today is talking a little bit more about how to feel, not just to practice, but how to really feel. If you feel spirited, joyful, at ease, without disease, then you can really feel that connection with that outer there, with that belonging, with that sense of it's going to be okay. And if that is a higher power for you, that is up to everybody themselves, right? I never talk about the sense or something that you have to do for yourself to become this or become that. That's up to everybody themselves, but it's just a really good feeling. And where does that feeling come from? I want to give you that today, and that be your kind of a takeaway of how you can just more feel connected like that. Connection is really big. When I talk to my patients in recovery, for instance, or when I talk to my patients in my life coach practice, anxiety is always a really big thing. And in recovery, I always say movement, of course, is a big thing, and meditation and feeling that sense of self. But it's a really big thing to feel connected. And although one of my things is that you always have to do everything yourself, you are alone, you're on your own, if we don't feel connected and we don't hear stories from others and we don't feel that center of or that belonging to something and that organization or a circle or people being there for you, that support. If you don't feel that, then you feel alone, right? And then if we feel alone, we're very anxious and we're very nervous and we're very sick, then that might even become a depression where we just feel that we're not connected anymore. With depression, I always say, if you think if you see it really simple, right? I'm not a medical person, but if you see it really simple, then that comes down to that you feel that you don't care. You're just down. It can be caused by medication, it can be caused by people or by a lot of trauma, sadness, and a lot of pain. You're so down, you just don't care anymore. And you feel that nobody cares about you. And so if you're feeling that feeling of indifference, that's when you need to ring the bell, right? Because indifference is a very, very dangerous emotion. Don't want to go there. But what helps for you to feel that connection again I don't want to make one thing first very clear. And that has to do with my story, definitely. And it probably has to do with your story. I call that, how do we go from expectation, living in expectation, to living in transformation? Expectation, transformation. And I tell you the story. When I was younger, I always felt that my happiness depended on an early marriage or having children or being in a really good job or being rich, maybe, right? Career, money, financial status, or happiness was related to people knocking on your door, right? And making you happy and just giving you what you need for happiness. So my happiness was really depending on other people, things, events, places, happenings, right? So my happiness was decided by things that I would relate to or that would make me feel happy. And way later on, I felt that that was not really the right connection. If my happiness was always determined by something else, then that could be taken away. That could go away. That could run away, right? That, a lot of times it left me. And if you're thinking about that, it's a really weird thing that you experience in life. Everything was so important and everything had to make me happy. I had no clue that that had to come from my inner self. And it was a little bit related to that expectation and transformation thing that I just talked about. Because if we grow up, we do what our parents expect us to do and what others expect us to do. And then we go out in the world and we get married and children and family life and big house and 3-bedroom, 2-bath and front yard and backyard and granite countertops and all these things that are out there that are telling us that that is good, that that makes you happy if you have all that. And that is all stuff, right? That's all stuff. We promote it a lot. And my generation has promoted that all the time to the younger generation on television. Right? But one of my pet peeves, like, oh, get a big house and front yard and backyard and family and this, that, and the other. When you're young, you don't even know how to take care of it. But anyway, that is what we think that is expected from us, to do all that stuff and run in line with all these expectations from everybody. So if we run in expectation, then we are doing a lot of things for other people, right? It's like a little transaction. We do this for our parents because our parents made us emotionally feel really guilty. You know, the emotional blackmail, like, oh, I worked so hard for you. So I did everything for you. So now you feel that you have to do everything for the other person. And we do that in relationships so much that's I do everything for you, so you have to do this and that for me, right? It's constant transaction and constant feeling of expectation that you have to live up to. Even with friends, friendships, everybody else is married, so I have to go, or everybody else has a family, so I have to do that. And that is not wrong. That's normal. That's a normal progression in life of the things that we do. But if we lose ourselves along the way and we do not understand what we really like and what we really want ourselves, then you can come into this place of unhappiness, insight, aggravation, kind of like unhappy feeling, irritation, resentment against those perfect pictures that are on your bookshelf. And you feel that resentment inside. You feel that unhappy feeling of there's something wrong. Who am I? And if you start feeling that, then you know that you have to do some work, because otherwise it's just going to stay the same. And I always say, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. You have to go out there and find out what it is that you are doing or that you are living that was only in expectation And if you can find that and you can kind of put your finger on it and find out what was making you feel unsatisfied, then you can come into that little progress of transformation. And that transformation progress is still really long, and years of transforming and years of transformation into the inner spirit, happy, joyful being is coming from the inside and not from the outside. So it is this feeling of feeling connected with yourself, with everything out there, without having to do anything for it. You're always just really joyful about that. I am so happy I can get over myself, right? That's what I say a lot. If you feel that feeling when you get up in the morning and you feel really in connection with that spirited child inside you, you feel that purpose, that connection, you feel that power, you feel that higher power, you feel that is your nature, you feel it is your intent, your mood, your essence. Coming down back to all these words, right? What makes up your spirit? Then you really truly feel that you're okay. And then you feel that happiness, which now I'm going to find another word for that. I'm going to make that peace. You're going to find that peace inside. And if you know how to recognize that, then it's hard to lose it. And you can go through hard times. You can go through grief and loss and trouble and painful times. And everybody has that sickness, illness, that. You can go through all that, but you can still kind of keep that inner peace because you know that you are okay, that it's all connected. It's all connected. And it will be okay. So you don't lose that feeling anymore that you're going to lose yourself or that you're going to need help like I did in the past. Need spirits. Another word for spirits, alcohol or drugs or medication to sleep or anything that is not so healthy for you, especially when you have an addicted mind. And you just go into those things and you go into overthinking and you just get irritated with everything. And then you lose that spirit feeling. You lose that story inside. So that's how I always use the expectation that we live in. We live in an expectation world, and that is just fine. But versus the transformation, how can you find that transformation inside yourself? Once you start feeling like I did, that it was not good for me, the place I was in. It was not healthy for me. There was a sort of an aggravation, that nagging, that eating yourself inside. There, you just know it. And your happiness is still determined by, oh, what did they tell you? And oh, what do they expect? And oh, what does everybody want? And more money or a good job or all of that. But you can still be not successful. You can still be inside really not happy. So if you feel that expectation, you feel that transformation, then nothing can run you over. Nothing can throw you off. It might be just really bad for a few days, but nothing can throw you off. You wake up with a delightful, joyful feeling. Your takeaway of the day. I want you to get that inner peace, that joyful feeling, that feeling of joy. That you're in there, you're right in the middle, and you're connected. You don't even have to belong to anything that is small or an organization or a club, but you just belong. You belong, and that is your purpose. You're different, you're unique, and you belong, and you're in the world. You're right there with your intention, with your purpose. And then when you find that purpose, that's kind of like a different deal, right? We'll talk about that in one of our next shows, finding your purpose. Yes, but if you feel that, if you just feel that you have a purpose, even if you're not really sure what it is, but if you just feel that, then you're on the right way to making that big transformation into the realm of that spirit, that feeling. If your ego is self-centered, and your ego is sometimes your soul, right? It can be self-centered. It can be just a thing that says, well, you know, I need this and I need that, and I'm not happy till I get that. That's actually your soul talking. But if you're talking about the spirit, you're really talking about the connection, the communication with God. You know, it's always gonna be okay. And maybe that's not something that we definitely do in our younger life. We don't think it's gonna be okay after something drastic happens. We're not gonna be thinking, oh my gosh, it's gonna be a while, but everything is gonna be okay, and I know it's for the better. They tell you that, but you don't believe it until you come to that inner spirited feeling. And then you know that you can always believe it. Whatever curveball I'm gonna get, I know I'm gonna get through it. I might not like it. It might be not something that I have on my vision board, but I'm gonna get through it. There's a couple of things that you have to do when you step out of that ego soul. I need this, I need that. If you want to step out of that, you need to do a couple of things. I have 4 things for you. Those 4 things start with a C. You have to commit to yourself that you're going to find out what you want. What is it that drives you? What is making you happy on a daily basis? What is making you joyful? Let's use that word. What is giving you a sense of peace? What is making you feel grateful for being around every day? That you have to first find out, right? You have to have the compromise with the other people. You might say, well, I don't like this anymore. You know, you have to make some compromises. You have to find the courage to do so. You might step out of a situation that wasn't pleasing you at all. You have to find the courage. You have to compromise. And you have to make that commitment to yourself that you're really gonna go through with finding out where you need to be. Because if you're in a place of joy, then everything falls in place. Everything falls in place. Then you don't need all that to make you happy. You're just there. You're just at peace. Everything falls in place. And the 4th one is you need to control your path. You need to control, be assertive. I can be assertive and make a vision board and find out where you want to be. You are on your stage if you want to find out. So you have to compromise, you have to have courage, you have to make commitments, and you have to control the situation for yourself. So that not anything else directs you to be somewhere where later on you find out that you don't want to be. Most of those things that we don't do are coming out of fear. And I want to give you the F for face, the E for everything, and the A for rise, an end, and the R for rise. Fear, face, everything in rise. So no more fear. Face everything in rise. If you want to make some changes, gotta be that confrontation, right? But you have to commit and go and control and go through it and go with it. And go with it. So no regrets there, just forward. Yes. So do one thing, exercises. Do one thing that you really love to do every day for yourself. Be deliberate about it. 10 minutes of meditation or yoga or going to the gym. Exercise is so healthy, right? What can I say? Secondly, also devote some nothing time. Can you see me doing nothing? So difficult for me. I really have to devote some nothing time so that you can hide about being busy and so busy and so busy and so busy. Now, busy is really good if you love it, but too busy is not good. So you have to find that time to purposely do nothing, purposely, on purpose. So slow down a little bit, take some time that you deliberately do something that you really love every day, even if it's 10 minutes or if it's a 5-minute meditation. Last week or 2 weeks ago in a show, I said, that's a great start. You don't have to have an hour, and devote some time, some special nothing time, right? Just sit and stare That is where that mindfulness comes in. It's so important because we lose that so many times. We have to practice mindfulness nowadays. And it is something that actually comes naturally, or should come naturally. But now we're so tuned in on everything around us, on our phones, on our radios, on our computers, and our television, constantly. So also devote some giving time. And giving time is the time that you give to somebody else. So a great thing that I once picked up is that every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, I will call a loved one. That's a great thing that you can do. If that's too much, you make it once a month or bi-weekly, but you're going to make a call to somebody on the list that is due for a long time. So maybe Thursdays or Saturdays or Sunday mornings, I make that call, and it always comes back, right? When you call somebody you love, so much love comes back. So you feel loved. You feel spirited. And that's a great feeling. And always kind of determine if you are able to set some rituals. So if that is that quiet time for yourself, if that is that special time for something you like, if that is that special time for somebody else, make sure that all those times, that all those hours or those minutes are designated to you, making you feel good. It's all about going back in. And so then the last one, number 5, is that you wake up grateful and that you do that exercise of gratefulness every morning. If it's a prayer, if it's a little, what do you call that on your mirror, thing that you have to say for yourself every day, and you know, something nice. I am beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, something like that, right? To make yourself affirmation, to make yourself believe that. Then do that every morning, and then do a lot of smiling during the day. That's really healthy. It's really good if you smile. It just makes you feel good. It's proven that if you do that for your spirit and your mind, that's a really healthy thing to do. It just makes you feel better. It kind of goes really immediately, let's say, to that root chakra, to that breath of life, right? That kind of feeling that you can do for yourself. So devote some time to you, to somebody special, to nothing, and wake up in gratefulness with a big smile on your face. If you can do that every time and every day or every week, however times it takes for you to feel a little bit more connected to your own spirit, to your own breath of your body, to your own vitality and energy, and you feel that connection, then you're going to be okay. And then you're slowly going to grow into that transformation, into living a life of transformation instead of just running because somebody else wants you to be here, there, everywhere, right? So just slowly coming from expectation to transformation. I hope you can do that for yourself. And if you want to practice that with me, and if you want to repeat all those things with me, and if you want to go over those things because you are in need of hearing all that now, then please reach out to me. www.elianhaan.com, info@elianhaan.com. You can email me. You can reach out. My email, of course, is on the website. I have so many courses there for meditation. I have courses for movement. I have courses, of course, for yoga and feeling good. And a lot of talks and a lot of PDFs and all that stuff that you can require and ask. And you can also just set up an appointment anytime. Set up an appointment if you want to be with me or virtual or on Zoom and have a little conversation about what you need. A little life coaching going forwards. We're not going back. We're going forwards into a beautiful transformation and into a wonderful mindset of joyfulness, right? Thank you for watching today. Thank you for being here on ELIAN'S Joy. I hope I gave you some energy. I hope I could share some joy with you. And love to see you next week. That would be wonderful. If I see you next week, reach out, www elianhaan.com. And then I see you next week at the same time. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week full of joy and full of happy self, inner peace. Namaste.